So this is weird. I've been studying in the UK for nearly 3 months now, and I haven't made a video in about as long. As you can tell, my hair is much longer than the last video I made, which I made in quarantine, but now I'm here in my actual dorm that I've been living in for like a little over 2 months. This isn't a video about a movie that I watched that I want to review, or a short film that I made or anything like that. It's more just like an update. Just what it's been like to study in the UK as an American. I just want to share my experiences so far here at Royal Holloway. And to be honest, so far it's been pretty weird. Corona has definitely hindered what I expected to be the college experience, and I knew that going in, but I was just hoping for a little bit of regular uni life. And I've gotten some of that. It's just really different. My classes are often really small because people either don't attend or they just rather attend online rather than showing up in person. But I mean, I try and go as often as I can in person because I find it really interesting to interact with my teachers and my peers right there in person and talk about the films that we watched. So the content that I'm studying is fairly interesting so far, but I've heard that from people that are further along in my course that it gets much better in years 2 and 3 because you get to specialize what you want to learn rather than, this year we're given classes and we're not allowed to pick, so we just have to study the things that we're told to. Yeah, so my course is essentially 50-50 practical versus theory. So it's like I have a couple classes, or at least one class this term, and then like a separate class next term that's like an extension. That's a completely practice class. So you get to deal with equipment, hands-on, like, tripods, sound, lighting, cameras, whatnot, in person, and we get to handle them. And for my theoretical classes, I have film, TV, and digital histories, and then I have critical theory and textual analysis. And essentially, in both of those classes, every week we watch films and then read excerpts about them, and then we show up to our seminars, and then we talk about the things that we read and we watched. And then we have essays. So that's essentially the only grades that we get from those classes, just writing essays about things that we've learned throughout a chunk of the term. Granted, a lot of the work that I have to do is online for obvious reasons, which kind of sucks, but it's understandable. I'm just grateful that I'm able to live here on campus because the campus is really beautiful. I mean, one of my favorite things about living here is just that I can go on walks whenever I want and just see just the nature and everything. And it's really cool that in order to get to some of my classes, I literally have to walk through this really just beautiful forest with, ponds and puddles and like tiny little waterfalls and whatnot. It's just really nice, just so much greenery around. So it's a really comfortable place to live, and it feels very safe. We can't really leave campus too often unless we, go out to get groceries and whatnot. But yeah, it's not like we can just go out, and leave Egham whenever we want, especially during lockdown. I mean, we were kind of able to do that before lockdown, but we've been in lockdown for about a month now. And, non-essential travel is banned. So I can't just get up and go to London, or else I'll get in big trouble and I'll get fined. In terms of partying, there's really no partying that you can do because there's a specific rule, like the rule of 6 here in the UK, where you can't be in a group of more than 6 people, and if you're caught, then you get fined heavily, of course, and you get reported and whatnot by campus security, and it's just not a fun time. So I've been trying to avoid that as much as I can, and really the only partying that I'm able to do is just with my flatmates here in our communal kitchen, which I don't mind because I like hanging out with my flatmates. They're all really fun, very cool. But pretty much all we do is we just chill out in the kitchen and we drink and we listen to music and we play games. That's what we've been doing for the past couple months. It's alright. I can't complain. And in regards to tennis, things have been good. I'm on the main team. I've made a few friends from that, a couple of which I'll probably be housing with next year, which is nice. tennis and all the athletics here at school are suspended and postponed because of lockdown. But, you know, as soon as lockdown lifts, I think we'll be able to get back to properly playing tennis again very soon, so I'm excited for that. Anyways, enough about all the sad stuff regarding Corona and lockdown and whatnot. I want to talk about the films that I've been able to watch during my course in my theory classes. Because in my practice class, we don't watch films, we make films. But in my theory classes, we watch so many films, and we read a lot of stuff about them. And frankly, I love it. I mean, this is what I've been wanting to do for such a long time, and it's cool that this is actually what I get to study. Going through my history class, I've written down an entire list of all the things that we've had to watch. So I'll just go through that real quick. We've watched Rushmore by Wes Anderson, Party Girl by Daisy von Scherlermeyer, Sunrise by F.W. Murnau, Scarface by Howard Hawks, Forbidden Planet by Fred M. Wilcox, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Milos Forman. And there's some other things that we studied, like some short, like really early silent films, you know, like the very short ones that are like a minute and whatnot. But those are kind of like, I don't really have much to say about those. And of all those films, I pretty much liked every single one of them except for Party Girl and Forbidden Planet. I was a little indifferent towards. Okay, and for critical theory, I have a list that's a much bigger list because we watch a lot more films in this class compared to history. So far, we've watched, for my critical theory class, It Happened One Night by Frank Capra, Letter from an Unknown Woman by Max Ophuls, The Searchers by John Ford, Days of Heaven by Terrence Malick, Quantité by Eric Romer, which I actually wrote my first essay on Quantité. I absolutely loved it. I watched it a couple times. Then Bourne Ultimatum by Paul Greengrass, North by Northwest by Alfred Hitchcock, 8888 by Isaiah Medina, which is super niche film that we watched for purposes of studying montage editing. And we watched it on YouTube, and it had barely any views, and pretty much everybody hated it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. If you haven't seen it, watch 8888. It's great. It's only an hour, but really fascinating film. And then we watched Battleship Potemkin by Sergei Eisenstein, Offside by Jafar Panahi, and lastly, Bicycle Thieves by Vittorio De Sica, which is just classic film. And I'm aware that I just listed off a shit ton of films, but so far this semester I've had to watch all of those, and frankly, I pretty much enjoyed all of them. Probably except for Bourne Ultimatum. It's just, I'm not saying it's bad by any stretch, just that it's not really my kind of film. I just didn't really enjoy it. But on top of all these classes, I also attend this weekly film screening that's hosted by one of my teachers in this really big lecture theater here on campus. And he calls it Netflix and Skill, you know, a play on Netflix and chill. But the premise behind this is that every Friday night at 6 p.m., we all gather in this lecture theater, and it's completely optional. It has nothing to do with my course. It's just, it's kind of like going to the cinema, but not really. We get to watch films on a really big screen, and then afterwards we have a discussion about the film, and it's a really good time. I mean, this is what I love to do. So ever since the start of the semester, I haven't missed a single one. I go to it every single week, and I still really love it. I'll continue to go to it every single week if I can. And through that, I'm not going to list all the films that we watch because I just listed a bunch of films from my classes. But through Netflix and Skill, I've been able to watch so many films that I'd never seen before, and that I really thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, I don't think there's been... Actually, no, there wasn't. I was going to say, I don't think there's been a film that we watched on Netflix and Skill that I haven't liked, but we watched Cloud Atlas, and just... Oof, I don't know. I don't know what to say about Cloud Atlas. Not a fan. Just not a fan. But there's so many things that we do watch that I really enjoy. Like just this past week, there was a student recommended filmmaker that we got to watch a film by, who I've literally never heard of before. This Chinese film director, Wong Kar-wai, who's apparently like a master of directing, and he's made so many things that I've never heard of any of his work. I've never heard of him, and I was so grateful that I got to be able to watch one of his films, because we watched In the Mood for Love, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. Even though it was difficult to follow, I was able to appreciate it for all its technical prowess. Like, it was, I thought it was great. All right, so I've drawn on for long enough. I just felt the need to make this update video about my time here in Egham so far. It's been weird. It's been up and down, but I'd say overall I've really enjoyed myself so far. It's definitely a change of pace. It's definitely a culture shock to live here in England after I've lived in America for almost my entire life. Yeah, it's a good time. I got to go to London once right before lockdown, which is where I got this shirt, and I wear it like way too often, but hey, I think it's a nice shirt. I like it quite a bit. But yeah, no, I'll stop for now. Hopefully this video wasn't too dreadfully boring, and it was interesting to hear what it's like to study in England from an American's perspective. So yeah, thank you for watching, and stay weird.
He jumped over the thing and it got him in the stomach.
D,
Because I'm not gonna lie, if
D.
we're not allowed animals over like that.
What are your thoughts on this little doggo over here?
I want to eat it.
Ew.
It's so cute.
Ew.
Yeah.
He's so well, not like that.
Look at it. Look at it.
Not like that. Like, it's so cute. You just want to.
All right.
It's so cute you want to cook it.
No, I didn't. He said that. I didn't say that.
Oh my god. Look at the birds. Just vibes. No flying, just vibes. Oh, friend.